Yo, so hear me out, right? What if now? Of course, you can't really like this. Isn't so easily faked because of how good Byun was/is. But hear me out, right? Byun no longer streams, and he doesn't use social media, and he doesn't use his face for anything. How insane would it be if there was like just another really good Terran player out there who
stole his name?
Basically stole his name. Yeah, pretended.
Oh my god, he actually killed him.
Well, maybe not killed him. It's just Byun's like literally in Kesper jail, right? So.
Oh my god.
We all think it's a joke, but he's actually stuck in like the equivalent of StarCraft Guantanamo Bay somewhere, locked away.
God. Who would take the mantle though?
This makes so much sense because his whole "I can't go to home" story cup would make like he'd have to show his face, and people would realize this is not Byun. I'm actually being 100% just crazy here. There's no indication of that being true at all. A little bit of lag as we get into Korea. Hopefully this won't be too bad for the. Whoa, what the? Oh, I got a lot of FPS though, despite this lag. That's cool. Anyways, if I do lag out, it won't affect the players, which is one thing we've learned over the beta, which is kind of cool. But yeah, we're already seeing some spikes. So guys, don't flip out. It's not your Twitch browser that's dropping frames. I'm not dropping frames. It's StarCraft 2 that's been a little bit laggy, and we'll hopefully get that fixed with the restart of the game after this. But we got to get to this first best of 5 before we can even get into it. It's the first semifinals match here in the TvT, I guess the BaseTradeTVT $2,000 tournament. Bottom left corner of the map, it's going to be the blue Terran player. Oops, camera stuck. There we go. aLive.
In the top right has the red Terran. It's Byun.
Allegedly.
Supposedly.
All right, so it's still best of 5. We haven't actually changed this. Again, normally what we tend to do is either best of 3s in a round of 8 and letting it forward. We had initially wanted to make these semifinals best of 7s and the grand final a best of 9, but with the schedule being what it was going to be too harsh on the Koreans and frankly perhaps a little too taxing on us at BaseTradeTV. So longer series tends to add for better games when you've got players of this close to skill level. However, it's still just the best of 5. It's worth noting, though, everybody from this point on at the stream has earned at least $250, as that's the 3rd and 4th place prize payouts for this tournament. Of course, $1,000 for first place and $500 for second place is what everybody's gunning for, though. In the meanwhile, I'm just kind of catching up on chat. So while you were gone, we had this little bit of thing where I mentioned to Byun, hey dude, you know, if you're having trouble getting a home story cup, there's several people in chat who want to give you money to go. And he says, and I said, you should stream. People will help you. And he said, why? I'm not a popular gamer. I said, you're crazy, dude. You're very popular. We love you. You're wrong.
He is legitimately wrong.
Oh, 100%.
I don't see how he thinks he's not a popular gamer. Now, I might think that because he's been on a little bit of a hiatus, but whenever he used to stream, he would be one of the top streamers. Hands down.
But the thing is, he's not been able to perform in, like, GSL. We don't see him on, like, Kespa teams or anything like that. That might be, like, in real life, you've kind of got this stigma, right? This is, like, where we're going to get real talk. Like, you, like, person, like, completely imaginary person, you're not a bad-looking person at all. You're not physically unattractive or anything like that. The problem is, because you hang out with so many beautiful people, you feel that way. This may be the same effect with, like, Byun and, like, all the pro gamers that he knows. Like, you know, oh, you look at Flash or Innovation, all these people he might know in real life that are doing amazing with their careers, and he's not, so he probably gets down in the dumps about it for no good reason.
Probably. I think Korea is a lot harsher about, like, results or nothing, too.
Yeah, so, I mean, I might actually be reading too far into this, but because of what Korea is, I kind of feel like I'm not. And that may be a very legitimate reason. So, I wish, you know what I'm going to try and do? I think my goal for today is if Byun wins the tournament, if he wins the tournament only, I'm going to try and push him to use Twitter so we can get people to tweet at him and show him just how many foreign fans he may or may not have. Be like, look, these are all the people who want you to stream. Go stream, you dummy.
Yeah, exactly.
Another new step hype as we continue this weird trend. Medrag, however you want to say that. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. Drop coming across the map from aLive. 3 Hellions to match up with it. And I just want to stress before this attack even begins, aLive was the guy from the bottom half of the bracket of the Korean qualifiers. Byun was the winner of the Korean qualifiers. Both of them meeting up once again here in the semifinals.
Alright, so dealing with this with Hellions is a little difficult because, of course, the concave is on the bottom for aLive, and Hellions really do need that lineup to happen. Gets the medevac and saves the Viking.
Ooh, it's
He's
getting a
going
little
to
bit
lose
messy,
a
though.
supply depot.
Yeah, not quite the supply blocket, but still a nuisance nonetheless.
Yeah.
For
It's not a
live,
bad attack.
yeah, not at all. This one actually wasn't one that needed to kill a lot of workers. His command center was behind, but not by a terribly large amount. Byun does have a very nice worker lead, though, and without having lost anything at home, he's going to maintain that lead for a little bit of time. 6 workers, probably about 7 by the time the orbital finishes. It's a really nice lead to have in the series.
I feel like with all the new subs we've had, we should be commemorating somehow, you know, like starting like a drunk stream or something like that. But God forbid, man. Like,
We got too much casting
so
to
many
do.
casts.
I know. I'm just glad to be above 700 subscribers again. Like, we should actually do like a... We haven't done one in a while, but whenever we have a day free, we should do like a sub night or something to celebrate. That would be a good way to do it. Get everyone to like so much Zealot hockey, man.
Yeah, totally. I guess pretty fun. Bit of a counterattack's not really gonna work out for Byun. He bullies his way up there anyways, though. That's bold.
Well, if he had been able to run through and get kills, that would have been great. Again, he's up by 8 workers or so. It's really nice from having that command center down so early, but what's going to extend that further is that 3rd CC on the way. It's kind of nice to reference back to this, right? Because sometimes when we're casting a lot of different matchups, you know, we're bouncing back and forth between PVZ or TVZ and all these other things. It's hard to drop those reference points. But the thing is, regardless of which Terran you've seen over the last week of TVT, and maybe you don't even vaguely remember the matchups, the thing is, you've seen, I guarantee you guys, you've seen just about every aspect of TVT at this point if you've been watching alongside us. And the really cool thing is, well, you don't need to know whether it was Byun or Reality or aLive who did X for a Banshee attack. You've seen how deadly they can be. And knowing that Byun is someone who really likes Banshees, I kind of feel like aLive should have known this was coming.
Yeah, I agree. It is a later Banshee, though, so those can sometimes really just catch people off guard because they are late, you know? They figure it's around that time, it's not here, they must not be going for Banshees. We have a typical aLive turret try to be placed down and placed down over here. Why does this guy do this?
I mean, I actually understand the logic between the turrets on the sides like this. Oh man, Byun's messing up really bad.
Oh, I understand the logic. Like, if the Banshee had gone to the left, it would have been absolutely denied. But the thing is that despite the logic, the luck is never there for him. Just stop him.
Oh, well, that Cyclone has insane range. That was nice. But Byun, sending that worker lead, again, already was going to get ahead just on the fact that he had a faster 3rd, killed several workers to get to this point where now he's got a pretty darn big lead. But the thing I was going to get at there was you kind of have this front line of defense, right? The left side, the right side, and the north side of the base. You don't really need to put turrets in the back or the middle if the idea is that you keep everything on the outside of that wall.
Yeah.
It's sort of like curvature, but that's not
Makes sense.
not what's happening. Is he dives through the middle. You know, a lot of these SCVs were softened up earlier. Might get a couple more kills if he'd like, but again, really pulling ahead in workers right now. And unfortunately, this isn't going to give him a crazy lead within the next moment. But those workers, oh man, that's going to lead to more production. That's going to lead to extra Marine rounds over the course of like 1 minute. And all of a sudden, Byun's going to be up like 30 or 40 army supply.
Yeah. I mean, okay, there's a reason that people don't use aLive turrets that often, right? So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, it's not working out for him.
It never works out for him. I can probably count how many times it's worked out for him. Like, oh, thank God he put that in the, you know, position to stop the drop from coming in at all, because that would have been deadly. Like, once. I remember it once.
It actually, I feel like it does work not badly versus Mutalisks sometimes, but you're right. Like, it is one of those not oftentimes that
You're not lucky enough aLive.
But
Whatever happened to Lucky? He was a player.
there's like a couple players named Lucky Man.
Were there? Oh, well, makes sense. It's a lucky word.
It was,
So, Combat Shields is almost done.
There's at least one Korean and 2 foreigners I can think of off the top of my head, all named Lucky.
Oh, really? All I know is the Korean one. Is that the Banshee still doing more damage because of the turret? Yes.
Yes, it is. The Cyclone will finally deal with this. So I kind of feel like just getting the last couple of kills. Meanwhile, that big drop does skirt past the sensor tower to the main, realizing it's a little bit late. There's a couple turrets, so this will make sure that this doesn't do too much.
Oh, the one in the mineral line! Hype!
See, now these are good turrets, which is not something we often say for Byun, but Byun actually usually has the worst turrets.
Oh, that was a terrible turret. Yep, GG.
GG. Goes with his whole army, and Byun will take map 1. So kind of, Byun, we used to chastise Byun actually a lot because in TvZ he would never put a tournament on his production line, and in HOTS, Mutalisk would kill him, and it was embarrassing and stupid despite how much of a god this guy could be. But
yeah.
What was map order again? Or I guess you're back, you can host. But
yeah, and you should have made them do the entire map order.
they did, but they did it like in lobby